Red Jet 4 Bravo Mike, after the Ryanair 737 passes from your right to left, push and start approved.
After the Ryanair right to left, I'm on 3, push and start approved, Red Jet 4 Bravo Mike.
Okay, so I've just run through a really quick setup in preparation for some visual circuits. So I've changed my viewpoint recently.
Ryanair 824, contact FX radar 120, distance 62, have a good flight, bye bye.
Like I said, I've changed my viewpoint recently.
06 from Ryanair 824.
Landings have been a little bit firmer than normal. I've got some new Thrustmaster TPR rudder pedals, so I'm getting used to those and using them for the brakes as well. And I thought, seeing as I don't really have time this evening to do a full trip somewhere, maybe half an hour of some hand-flown circuits would do me some good. So we've got about 15 tons of fuel on board, very little payload. As I said, I've run through the quick checkup, so we'll get the ATIS and then we'll start the FMC setup.
Continues to transition level, flight level 70, surface wind 240, 12 knots, visibility 10 kilometer or more, broken 4,100 feet, temperature plus
Red Jet 4 Bravo Mike, taxi holding point Romeo 1 via Alpha, Hotel and Romeo.
India and advised aircraft type on first contact.
Alpha Hotel Romeo for runway 22 Romeo 1, Red Jet 4 Bravo Mike.
So, there's the ATIS. That should give us maybe a little bit of crosswind. 20 degrees off at 12 knots is going to give us about a third of that, so maybe a 4 knot crosswind. So, nothing too spectacular, but it'll be good practice. So, let's just finish doing a quick setup here, making sure we can see everything. Load up the FMC, check the date of the data, which is AIRAC 1909. Good till September the 11th. Unfortunate. So, tell the aeroplane where we are. The FMC setup for circuits is actually relatively easy. We're at stand 7-4 at standstill. We will need a push. I think what I'll do is I'll just get that queued up and ready. Better push back, pre-plan, and we could just say connect first because we might be pushed back here. It's probably most likely, I suppose you could get pushed back into this section up here, but we'll connect first anyway and then go where we're told. That will save a little bit of time.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
So the nav aids and things in a little while. F airport we've got 74, we've got route simply Stansted to Stansted, put in Ryanair 10 Tango, just so we know what's going on and potentially it reminds us. So we can pre-fill our gross weight, like I say 15 tons of fuel, I expect to use about 2 in an hour, reserves and another 2 to get us to Gatwick. I haven't planned any of this. This is just simply off the cuff. We'll put cost index of 30 for the circuits. Cruise out of 2,000.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
To pinch up. One limit. So let's just have a quick look at the performance data. So I run QSIM Planner on a Windows tablet, which has decided to turn itself off. Or perhaps it's a run out of battery. Anyway, not that it particularly matters. I'm not going to derate just in case we do need thrust at any point, which we shouldn't. And the first takeoff will be with some automation, just to get the airplane climbing away and steady. And then we'll turn everything off once we're downwind. Start seeing what we're going to do. With about 15 tons total gross weight of, what do we say, 57. We're still relatively light, so let's go. Let's take off. Flat 5 takeoff. Don't need to do the trim, but we can. The wind was 240 at 12 knots. It makes much difference. Acceleration height doesn't actually matter today, so pop in 3000, because we're not doing a VNAV takeoff. V2 of 138. Let's just get the courses set up. So 223 at Stansted.
Right, Jet 4 Bravo Mike, contact FX radar 120.62. Have a great flight, bye bye.
It's 6120.625, bye bye.
043 downwind. See if we get given a left or a right. Call them up in a little bit. Not spectacularly busy. So our departure is going to be runway 22. Our arrival is also going to be runway 22. No route, so we'll leave that blank. All we do on is to pop in some fixed rings. So we'll pop in a 5-mile ring. Put both downwind bugs just in case, so they will be 133, should be 90 degrees. There it is. And 313. Adjust that as we see fit. So I think off the top of my head there is very little else to do. There's nothing on the legs, so I'm just going to leave that on the progress page. Quick scan, let's get the APU started. Door open, but pretend we've got a secure cabin. To set 7000 or 7010. So we can do an ILS if we need to. I'm going to just grab the chart for that and pop that in on standby nav1, which I think is 110.5. Parkway tuned 11625. Both off, so let's get the ports on. Set the QNH 1024. We will be given.
South ground, you just want to Charlie with you, pass right to there.
Okay.
UPS 1 Victor Charlie,
He's
welcome
on the
to
bus.
Stansted. Taxi stand 4 via Juliet, Link Alpha. 4 via Juliet, Alpha, UPS 1 Victor Juliet. Alpha Charlie.
Stands to ground. Good evening, RYR10 Tango. 737-800, stand 74. Information India. Request push and start.
RYR10 Tango, stand by please.
Roger.
RYR10 Tango, I've got you down as VFR circuits in your flight plan, is that correct?
A firm 10 Tango.
RYR10 Tango, stand by then please.
So probably could have done with a little bit more coordination. And actually it would probably be beneficial if you just gave us push and start and sorted that out whilst we were doing it, save a couple of minutes. So the elevation at standstill is 348, so in flap. 348. The initial departure, and then we'll be doing as we see fit. So with any luck, we're going about 1,500, 2,000 feet. And our downwind position should be 3 times that height, plus or minus any tailwind component in seconds. We'll see how that goes, and we can adjust that head tailwind component to half, depending on where you look. You can give it different guidance. So real life Stansted has actually got a reduced runway at the moment, but we've got the full 10,000 feet. You never get a chance to do circuits here, but it's not particularly busy on VATSIM.
RYR10 Tango, stand stay ground.
Go ahead, RYR10 Tango.
RYR10 Tango, push and start approved, QNH 1012, information India.
Push and start approved, QNH 1012, information India. RYR10 Tango.
Correction, right, QNH 1024, information India, RYR10 Tango.
Copy, QNH 1024, RYR10 Tango. So, we haven't been given a direction to push, so let's just go where we think is sensible.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I don't think anyone's going to be using here, but he's probably going to expect us to push back into this section of apron here, which looks like an apron echo, I think. It's a nice short push as well.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, so we are pushing at 1803. Release the parking brake with my brand new under pedal.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Score 7,000. Let's go 7010 because we are in the circuit. Pop the light on. We shouldn't get any messages because I haven't started the flight, but we may. Imagine the cabin is secure. Packs off. Start engine 2. Start switch to idle. EGT starts to rise, so does the N1. Pressure's gone out. Starter cut out. Engine relatively stable.
Good evening, Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, stand 5, 3
Ooh, he sounds
right,
Dutch.
and the Boeing 738. Information in the onboard for clearance to Girona.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, I don't have a flight plan for you, I'm afraid. You're going to need to file the flight plan.
Okay, can you check it again, Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo?
Operation
Ryanair 7
complete.
Juliet Romeo, stand by
Set
please.
parking brake.
Okay, so I have to remember to push both brakes. Set the parking brake now.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, 2, 4, 6 on both the engines. They are both stable. Let's get him disconnected. So, engines on, EPU goes off, start switches to continuous, probe heat's on, no anti-ice required, we've got 23 degrees outside, EPU bleed goes off, packs both in auto, ISO's in auto, and it's bleeds on takeoff.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand
driver
signal on the right.
shows the pin.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo.
7 Juliet Romeo, go ahead.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, you need to be on a Clacton 8 Romeo departure. Do you want to fix your flight plan, or would you like me to try and fix it for you? It may be quicker for you to do it.
Go, there's the pin, flap 5.
Yeah, if you want to do it, I would be very glad, Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo.
Oh, the Dutch are so polite.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, stand by please.
So we'll just wait for the flaps. Five. Just full free. Correct movement on the flight controls. New rudder pedals. They're checked. That's checked. So before taxi checks, gens on. APU is off, start switches are on, continuous, probe heats on, anti-ice not required. Pressurization, we have, can't say it's 2-1, but I'll try and remember to adjust it. Packs in auto, isolation valve in auto, bleeds on takeoff. Flap 5 green light, stab trim set, and
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, your flight plan is now in check.
I have a quick takeoff setting button for when we're doing the circuits. Flight controls are checked, recalls checked. We are ready to request taxi.
Yeah, thank you, 7 Juliet Romeo.
Right now, 10 Tango, request taxi.
Ryanair 10 Tango, taxi with Sierra 1 via Link Delta and Hotel.
Boarding point 01, runway 22 via Delta and Hotel, Ryanair 10 Tango. So, clear taxi, lights on. Brakes off.
Ryanair 7 Juliet
Config
Romeo
check.
is ready to continue clearance.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, is that
Delta
flight plan
is straight
acceptable for you?
ahead-ish. Little bit to the right.
Yeah, it is 7 Juliet Romeo, thank you.
Still got some pretty bad stuttering.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo clears to... Ryanair
Delta
7 Juliet
Hotel,
Romeo
so
clears
left
to
turn up
Girona
here.
via the Clacton 8 Romeo departure, squawk 2256.
Let's pop.
Okay, clear to
Windows on.
Girona, Clapton 8 Romeo, squawk 2256, 7 Juliet Romeo.
We are going to be using the auto throttle for the first takeoff.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, correct?
So we should get held at the runway, passed over and given our clearance. Could just just be talking to myself because I have no idea. I'm not watching it on the iPad. No idea if anybody's watching. So we went from really bad, not stuttering before I reinstalled Windows. But yeah, some pretty awful lag and CPU spikes to now what seems like constant stuttering despite having a pretty acceptable frame rate. Anyway, trials and tribulations. So we're all set for departure. Let's go straight ahead to whatever altitude we're given. Level the aeroplane off, turn it downwind using the autopilot, disconnect everything, and start flying the thing manually.
RYR10T Juliet Romeo, request push start.
Ryanair 7 Juliet Romeo, push and start approved.
Push approved, 7 Juliet Romeo.
So 01 is the first turn. Let's use the joystick brakes to cheat. Let's imagine the cabin is now secure. There's our holding point, the second of the two. Rudder's pretty ineffective at low speed anyway. Brakes are very effective. So let's just stop the aeroplane here. RYR10 Tango holding Sierra 1.
Ryanair 10 Tango, no further ATC available. 1 to Unicom and 1228. Have a great flight. Bye bye.
Unicom 122.8, thanks RYR10 Tango. That is a shame. So I guess Essex approach is going offline. Essex radar RYR10 Tango, are you about to go offline?
Hey, firmware just closing. Unicom on 22.8.
Roger, thanks. That is a real shame. It's much more fun. When there is somebody to actually control. So, let's have a think about what we want to do. The elevation here is 350. So I think if we do 2,500 feet, it's giving us 2,200, which might actually be a little bit high, because 3 times the height there is going to give us 66, but actually we've got a little bit of wind, so 66 seconds, and we've got a tailwind component of about 8, so that gives us 58. We'll see how we get on. That's the point at which we should be going downwind, and about 15 seconds before that. Gear and flap. So it's about 43. We'll see how we get on. So, we have self-cleared. We've set our squawk. Strobes are on. Landing lights go on. Cabin is secure. Set 2,500. Let's get this show well and truly on the road. Anything there? I don't think so. So this could be chaos. Let's see how we get on. At least all I've got to do in text is call final and downwind.
Approaching 2-2.
We had a look. We couldn't see anything. Let's try half an hour. Failing that, maybe we will hoik our way over to Gatwick.
On runway 22.
So off the tiller. There are stable engines. Really is a challenge to get used to using these pedals.
80 knots.
They're much less effective at low speed. Let's see.
V1 rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400.
That's the autopilot on.
1,000.
Remain at flat
1,000 to go.
For now. Left turn 043. That's better. Stansted Tower, good evening, RYR10 Tango, turning left downwind, runway 22, altitude 2,500 feet, information India QNH 1024.
RYR10 Tango Stansted Tower, good evening. I should amend your clearance. Circuit altitude 1,400 feet.
1,400 altitude or height, RYR10 Tango?
Sorry, RYR10 Tango, sorry, I had I'm kind of distracted.
Roger, 1,400, I'm unable to fly on the QFE, so if you are happy with altitude 1,700 feet.
If you want to see 1,700 feet, then that's fine. Yeah. The QFE would be 1012.
Roger, 1012, RYR10 Tango. Let's see if we can do that.
And RYR10
1,000 to go.
State your intentions off your sorry, yeah, can you state your intentions, please?
Okay, we are late downwind. It's probably going to be extended a little bit just to reconfigure.
1,000 to go.
And it'll be a touch and go, RYR10 Tango.
RYR10
1,000 to
Tango,
go.
Roger, report point number 22, number 1.
Wilco, RYR10 Tango, thanks. So, let's just get the aeroplane a little bit better set up. We were descending at about this rate anyway. So 1012, the ground is going to look a little bit different, but we might take the destination out, I'm not sure. Anyway, we'd normally fly on the QNH, and if that doesn't work out, we'll switch back and see how we get on. So 1400 times 3 gives us 42 seconds. About 12 knots. Anyway, we will see how we get.
Very good evening, Tennis. What 529? I hope you select one fully ready. Shanix 1529, Stanford Tower, good afternoon. Runway 226 takeoff, wind 2303 at 11 knots. Takeoff 22, Shanix 1529.
So, no speed brake set, no auto brake set. We should get away with this slightly 30 degrees, get around this turn. Just reset the minimum.
Right now, 10 Tango traffic is a jet 2, Bank 737-800, passing runway 22.
Looking right now, 10 Tango. So minimums for Cat 1548 in case we need it. Slacking that turn off, it's pretty difficult there. Not looking too bad, so let's get the airplane configured. We're well high now, so this could be a little bit of a messy approach. See how we get on. Normally go for vertical speed.
1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized,
Right
Whiskey
now,
Park Challenge
10
suicide.
Tango, runway 22, clear touch and go, wind 2303 at 11 knots.
Clear touch and go runway 22, right at 10 Tango. Sure the speed doesn't drop.
Approaching.
Shanix
2.
1529, that's that, no further ATC available.
Approaching minimums.
122.8, come on quiet.
Clear land, start switches.
500.
Looks like this is going to be a little bit messy.
Minimums. 400.
Okay, we've got the ground icon there that we can ignore. We are a little bit high. Hopefully the next one will be a bit better.
300.
It's slow as well.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20,
Idle.
10.
Check. Oh, come on, that's very floaty. So stand the throttles up. Flap 15. Wait for the indication.
5,000 feet remaining.
15. Decent
4,000
throttle.
remaining.
Let's rotate.
3,000 remaining.
Positive rate.
Gear
Too
up.
low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear.
400.
There's
Too low,
400.
gear.
Hopefully that won't happen again. Climbing turn.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time.
1,000.
We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
There you go, a little bit messy. Not terrible. Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to this airport. For your own comfort and safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to complete stop and the
Hopefully that message will stop soon.
Please refrain from smoking and release
we'll see. In which case, accident. Turn for the one today.
Ryanair 10 Tango traffic is Ryanair Boeing 737-800 on a 5 mile final runway 22.
Visual Ryanair 10 Tango, downwind, touch and go.
Ryanair 10 Tango, Roger, report final runway 2, number 2, following a Ryanair Boeing 737-800 on a 4 mile final.
Wilco, number 2, following the Ryanair 73, Ryanair 10 Tango. So we're going to extend downwind, which will complicate things a little bit. Too badly set up, maybe a little bit quick. Just lose a little bit of power, maybe 755, 56. For him to turn.
Right, it's X-ray runway 22 clear for land, 2303 at 11 knots. Traffic is Ryanair Boeing 737-800 on left downwind for runway 22.
Give this poor guy a run for his money today. So he's well past us. Hopefully he clears nice and quickly. We would normally start descending. But I think we're low enough that we won't today. And we've extended downwind quite a bit. My keeping's a little twitchy. Just getting a good excuse to get your joystick. Using an old Microsoft Sidewinder force feedback. It's done me pretty well over the years. Whilst I do like the force feedback, you don't really get a lot of it in this, so I'm thinking something with a spring. Like the Warthog HOTAS might do me good, especially since the Cytec throttle quadrant is a little bit noisy. Well, not particularly good. So with the start switch is continuous, gear is off, stopwatch is not running. We use the little trend vector to help line up, which helps on the ND. We've slowed a little bit, we're still good for the manoeuvre speed. Gear down flap 15, we shouldn't have to change power setting. Start gentle descent. Ryanair 10 Tango, final touch and go, runway 22, number 2.
Ryanair 10 Tango, continue approach runway 2 to number 1. Brake, Ryanair 6 X-ray 1 hold at
1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, missed approach altitude set.
A little bit messy. Set, we're a bit quick.
Ryanair 10 Tango, clear
Approaching 2-2.
2303 at 11 knots.
Clear touch and go, Ryanair 10
minimums.
Tango. So we don't need the minimums.
500. 400.
So let's get some power in, focus on the landing. It's
300.
going to be a little bit low. So gear down, flap set.
200.
Looking a bit better, speed's good.
100. 50.
Nice.
40. 30. 20.
Close,
10.
fly. Let the airplane touch down. Okay, trim. Flaps. Stand the throttles up. Get some stabilised. Flap set. Let's try about 80%.
5,000 feet remaining.
Rotate.
4,000 remaining.
A little bit twitchy.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Too low, gear. 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 Too low.
400.
Gear. Too low, gear. Too low,
Flap 5.
gear.
Should accelerate the airplane a little bit. Start our climbing turn. Power in. crewed, so get those off. Gear off when we do downwind. Just
1,000.
otherwise. So let's see how we go. 2.5, 50, 56. Picking. A bit rusty. Right, it's better without a flight director's rubber hand flying. Okay, that'll be alright. We'll be able to try with some timing this time. Let's see how we get on. Twitchy, a little bit late. Power. Right now, 10 Tango, downwind touch and go. All over the place today.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger, 450 runway 22, number 1.
Wilco, right now, 10 Tango. So let's actually start the stopwatch this time. There we are, that's what that little marks for. It just makes it a lot easier. Obviously in real life you can tell when you are beneath the threshold, but in a sim it's pretty challenging. Left the start switches in continuous. Quick recall check. Altitude's fluctuating a little. Let's try 20 seconds, gear down flat 15. Should have a little bit of a pitch change. The airplane should stabilise at roughly the flat 15 speed without touching the throttle. Let's try 35 and turn. This could be spectacular. So, begin a descent at flap 25. About 400-500 feet a minute. A little bit difficult to judge. Again, you've got to try and do it visually. Does tend to want to use the instruments. Throttle, maybe we should try this at 15. A bit uncomfortable. High pressure in the turn. Tighten it up a little bit. It's quite a shallow turn. That wind turning into it. Up. The 10 Tango short final, 22 touch and go.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger, runway 236, touch and go, 2303.
1,000 feet, stabilized, missed approach altitude set.
Touch and go, right now, 10 Tango. So actually, not too bad. A little bit high, a little bit slow around the turn. I'm going to blame it on the joystick. And we've overshot the turn a little bit. We are
approaching 2-2.
Heels are on the floor. Actually matters this time. Definitely out of trim. Hopefully this is giving somebody a good show if they're watching it from the tower. A bit quick and a little bit high. Died down a bit. Far off, there we go. That's a bit excessive.
Santa Tower, good evening. Right now, 1 November Quebec, with the RYR10T.
Right now, 1 November
Okay.
Quebec, Santa Tower, good evening, continue approach runway
No call-outs.
22, number 2. Boom,
Thumbs
right now,
up.
going to 37800.
Stand the throttles up, reset the trim.
And expect late
Flat
landing
50.
clearance runway 22.
Continue approach right now, 1 November Quebec.
5,000 feet remaining.
There we are, rotate.
4,000 remaining.
Positive rate.
Let's get the airplane climbing away.
Too low, gear.
Gear up.
Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low.
Right now,
gear.
1 November, Quebec, runway
Too low,
400.
land, circling
Too low,
2303,
gear.
11
Too low, gear.
Pit lab runway 22 right now, 1 November.
We are accelerating. And we can start our turn. So it's such a low circuit height, it's quite difficult to manage the power.
1,000.
See the aeroplane without trim there. Again, I have no trim wheel, so it's just buttons. Stand 5. Start leveling the aeroplane off. Carry a little bit of excess power. And of course, with the pitch coupling, as you reduce thrust, the aeroplane will tend to pitch down by itself. It's looking a little bit better. Amazing how quickly you can get rusty. Right at 10 Tango, downwind, touch and go.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger, full final runway 22, number 1.
Wilco, right now 10 Tango.
Right now, 1 November, Quebec, welcome to Stansted. Hold short, holding point, Lima Romeo, contact Stansted ground on 121.725. Have a nice
Go off
evening.
again.
Stansted ground 121.725 and confirm hold short of which taxiway?
Hold short of hotel.
Okay, well, hold short of hotel and hold to ground right now, 1 November.
So let's try 20 seconds. Gear down. Flap 15. See how we get on with the power. Oh, look, there we go. There's the airplane pitching down. Hold that altitude until we get to 35. Then the airplanes start descending. Start the turn. So I'm going to try leaving the flap at 15 as we come round. Carry a little bit more speed around the turn. Try and maintain that picture for a 20-degree turn. Timing seems to be working out quite well. This is a 2.5 mile final. Looks alright, no. No, way too much back.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Approach altitude set.
So we may be a little low, difficult to see the pappies. Yes, we are. Right now, 10 Tango, final, touch and go. A little gibberish there, so flap 25.
Right now, 10 Tango, runway 22, clear touch and go, circling
Approaching 22.
1 knot.
Clear touch and go, right now, 10 Tango. So,
Stansted Tower, good evening again, right now 1 November, Quebec. We're still holding short of hotel. We tried calling ground a couple of times, but they're on response.
Right now, 1 November, Quebec, Roger, just, can you just taxi on Juliet, and just clear up next taxiway, and I'll just...
Yeah, so we'll taxi on to Juliet and just confirm you wanted to go over to ground again.
go.
I'll just message around just to see if they should still be there. Just to make sure that there's no problems, and then I will get back to you and hand you over.
Roger.
Right now, 1 November Quebec, did you try contact, reaching him with, by message, by text?
No, only try by voice, so do you want me to try via text anyway?
Yes, please. Can you hold
5,000 feet remaining.
To these rudder pedals.
4,000 remaining.
Thanks, Dawn.
Positive rate.
Too low. Gear.
Okay, so hold
low,
and
gear.
over the ground again.
Too low, gear.
Quebec.
Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low.
400.
Gear.
Flap
Too
5.
low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
Bad for a climb rate 1,000 feet without even trying. 10 degrees, let's roll the aeroplane. Still a bit sketchy. If I was doing that in the real aeroplane, I'd be quite happy with it though.
1,000.
So about 150 feet before we'll start leveling the aeroplane. Carry through a little bit of power. Just hold it at 5 degrees, see what we get. Lots of that looks about right. Does it look right? Does it feel right? I'd certainly encourage everyone that's flying the Z-1 to really try your hand at circuits. You don't have to do it online. I like to just give myself something else to think about as well. A bit more of a challenge. But it's really good for getting your handling. So, rolling level 043, track we have. Bit of excess power, 1 degree out. Yeah, landing lights. What am I going to do? So let's get the trend. Right now, 10 Tango down with touch and go.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger, report final 192, number 1.
Wilco, right now 10 Tango. Okay, that's not doing too bad. That's me basically hands off. Joystick's not quite essential, but gives an idea of actually once you do get the aeroplane set up, it can fly quite nicely. So we ended up a little bit low that time. So 20, get down, 15. Maintain the attitude until we get to 35 seconds. Let's try flap 25 and our turn. About 500 feet per minute. It's all over the place. Right. About there. So just the horizon, just coming into the corner. A bit slow though. 138 might still be a little bit quick. 12 knots. Should really only be VREF plus 5. 6, let's go 6. What have we? 3, 8. 8, so let's try 144.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Right now 10 Tango, final touch and go. Oh dear.
Right now,
There
10
we go.
Tango, runway 22, clear touch and go, between 2303 and 111.
Approaching.
Clear touch and
2.
go right now 10 Tango. So we'll hold on the final stage of landing flap. Let's just give that a sec because we've got a minute to land. There's the runway coming in. Six knots, that's fine. There we go. There's the landing flap. Gear down. Green light. Flap 30 green light. And we are cleared to land. So let's bleed off a little bit of this excess speed. Oh, now we're too low. That's looking better. squeeze in one more. Call outs, which is irritating, so we'll keep looking down. 50 over threshold's good. 30, 20, 10. Confirm. So stand the throttles up, flap, trim, keep the airplane straight. 15. Let's get 80%.
5,000 feet remaining.
It's VREF. Rotate.
4,000 remaining.
Positive rate.
Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low,
Definitely
gear.
don't need that much
Too
climb.
low, gear. Too low, gear.
400.
Too low, gear.
Flap
Too
5.
low, gear.
Right.
Too low, gear.
Starts the climbing turn, just makes things a bit quicker than going up and levelling off. Though of course it does make it a little bit more challenging.
1,000.
That was a little bit of a messy climbing turn. So, auto rake spoilers reverse on this one. And I think that would probably be 5 landings. Oh, too bad. Right now, 10 Tango, downwind, land.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger. Report final runway 22, number 1.
Wilco, Rhino 10 Tango. So, let's get the auto brake armed. Try not to make a hash of this. Degree out. If I had a bit more time this evening, I think I'd do a full stop, relax a little bit, and then have a go for a few more. So we'll try 2035, shall we? With the profile this time. Gear down, flap 15. Flap 25. Start the turn. See how we go, 20 degrees over the nose. Rhino 10 Tango, final land.
Right now, 10 Tango, Roger. Runway 22, clear to land.
1,000.
2403.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude
Clear that
set.
runway 22, Rhino 10 Tango. It's looking a bit better. Flap 30. Spoilers armed, auto brakes on. Flap 30, green light. Gear down, 3 green. Landing clearance
Approaching,
given.
2.
So, this is a bit hard, man. right on the cusp. Interesting how we get call-outs. Wonder why we went before. Quite a distraction.
300.
Something to do with the auto brake or the spray. Anyway, a little bit fast, but it's looking
200.
A bit low.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Spoilers going up, I hope. Keeping the airplane straight with rudder. Letting the auto brake do the work. There's the first high speed exit.
Good evening, Stanford Tower. This is Ryanair 7
80 knots.
Whiskey with you, establishing runway 22. We are 9 miles.
Manual braking.
Ryanair 7 Zulu Whiskey, Stanford Tower, good evening. Continue approach runway 22, number 1.
Roger, continue, Ryanair 7 Zulu Whiskey.
40 knots. Still effective. Touch of braking just to get us down to about 30 knots. Wow. Stuttering's really bad. Let's start cleaning the airplane up.
Ryanair 10 Tango, welcome back to standstill. Hold your holding point Lima Romeo and catch standstill ground on 121.725. Have a nice evening.
Thanks very much for the service. Hold short Lima Romeo and ground 121.725. Ryanair 10 Tango.
Ryanair 7 Zulu Whiskey, runway 22, clear to land, plus 22403 at 10 knots.
That's the ground. Good evening again, Ryanair 10 Tango, holding Lima Romeo, request taxi.
Ryanair 10 Tango, welcome back to Stansted. Taxi via Juliet to the stand of your choice. Please let me know what stand number you would like.
Taxi via Juliet, stand of my choice, Wilco, Ryanair 10 Tango, thanks. So strobes off, repeats off, outs off. Let's get the aeroplane moving just so we're out of the way. Those definitely still shouldn't have been deployed. I did stow them. Clean up the MCP. Show up the systems. Brakes aren't too bad. So we are going to slow down, start using the tiller again. Well, that certainly got me thinking. There we're taxiing along Juliet. Speed up in a straight line. Anything else I've forgotten? Yes, didn't set the stopwatch. Ooh, 40 minutes.
Ryanair 10 Tango. Ryanair 10 Tango, did you make a stand choice?
Hey firm, we'll taxi stand 7-4 Ryanair 10 taxi Tango.
Stand 474, thank you.
Could disconnect and just give up at this point, but gives other people a little bit of traffic. He stops pretty quick. Delta.
Good evening, down to the ground. This is RYR10T Zulu Whiskey with you at November Romeo. Question taxi to stand, please.
RYR7 Zulu Whiskey, taxi stand 63 via Juliet and Link Delta.
Roger, taxi stand 63 via Juliet and Link Delta, RYR7 Zulu Whiskey.
Pretty busy. Somebody else on approach. But we passed 3 aircraft sat in parking. Somebody just spawned on 6-3. Maybe. Get the APU on. Gentle braking. This is taking time to get used to. Delta, we are going to turn, and it's that stand there. So down to 10 knots. Challenge. So not too bad, a bit rusty. I think the only thing I'm disappointed with there is not using the ortho. Doesn't appear to have made much difference to the frame rates. Just would have looked a bit better, but never mind. That looks roughly like our starting point. So transponder standby. On. 2 blues, 1 red. Sub engine's dead. Oh, not perfect, but relatively central. Just needed to be a bit further forward. So less than 20%. And the anti-collision's gone off again. Rotating. So, let's put the chocks in. GPU's on. And some stairs. Airplane secured, just good practice, so you don't need to do it. So, wow, 2.3 tons of fuel. Sorry, 38 minutes-ish. It's about 5 or 6 landings. I'll count them up from the video later. But I hope if you were watching, or if you're watching this not live, that was interesting, somewhat informal, and somewhat educational. So thanks very much.